103.2 Dublin City FM. This is Mental Wealth with Brian Greene. Good afternoon. On today's programme, I'm talking about a really interesting idea and project I saw on the internet. I was browsing around Eventbrite and I saw this event, and it just jumped out off the page with colour and just such a fun, beautiful idea. I'm talking with Fran Buckley, and hi Fran.
Hi Brian, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
No problem. I haven't said what it is, so you tell us, what is it all about? What are you doing?
Okay, so we basically created, myself and my colleague Elva, an event last year called Paint Your Bump, and it's for maternal mental health awareness. And basically we have different events running around Ireland, and we're encouraging mums to be at home to paint their bumps to basically bring awareness around that your maternal mental health matters.
So is it paint your own bump, or do you go to a kind of a group setting and an artist will paint something on your bump for you?
Yeah, it's a mixture actually. You can paint your own bump at home using, obviously very important to use non-toxic, sensitive face paints, or we have 6 events at the moment. And you can go and get an artist to paint it, and they're fabulous. The work from last year is amazing, and it's a real treat, actually. So if you get to one of the events, brilliant. If not, you can do it at home. I actually done my own forced pregnancy bump at home on my own.
Paint Your Bump Day 2018 is on tomorrow, May the 2nd. And is this all over Ireland?
It is all over Ireland. I'm delighted that we're national, which is fantastic. We've grown. We had 3 events last year to having 6 this year, with possibly another 2 being added. And they're running from Monday the 30th until Monday the 7th in different venues around Ireland. And they can be found, the event details can be found on the Facebook page or our website.
If there isn't an event near you, you can just paint it yourself and take a photograph, have a photograph taken, and then put it on social media?
Absolutely. And if you don't want, like last year we had a lot of women paint their bumps at home, and they either sent it in to us anonymously and said, please post this, or they sent it in with their name and a little message. And it was fantastic. Actually, a lot of women last year painted their bumps and made it a family event. So if they had other, children in the house, it was kind of, in a way, kind of preparing those children as well for the change. The husbands got involved, and it was lovely. Really, really nice.
And there's no taboo, there's no stigma with getting your bump out and showing it off. It is a wonderful, beautiful thing, and nobody's kind of going, put that thing away.
No. Well, I hope not. I actually am 29 weeks pregnant myself, so I'll be getting my own bump painted. It's a lovely thing, and actually what we're trying to do with this as well is promote positive body image, because we are all different shapes and sizes, but we're all doing, all the ladies coming in, we're growing a little human. And it's about nurturing your body and kind of going, this is great, how amazing are we? And having a little memento as well from your pregnancy.
Can you put a message in your painted bump? Can you write things on it, and maybe a name or a pet name you might have for the baby to be?
Absolutely, you can do whatever you want, really. It's your idea. Last year we had absolutely fabulous designs. I couldn't get over how it was just amazing, the artwork last year. So if you have an idea for an image, or like that, if you want a name or a date of when the baby is due, you just let the artist know and they'll do it. If you're doing it at home, get creative and do it yourself.
Obviously, the painting of the bump and the displaying of the painted bump is a fun thing. There's a small bit of seriousness behind this, the reason why you're doing it.
Yeah. So basically the reason behind it is to create awareness around maternal mental health. I suppose when I got pregnant on my first child and I had my daughter, although found it a really rewarding experience and quite empowering experience to give birth and to become a mum, I realised very quickly that actually there was a huge adjustment, and it was a really, really, really big transition. And at the time, I just was really struck at how, I suppose, the different emotions that I would have gone through, and how I felt the sense of isolation because not many women spoke about it. Plus, I'm a therapist, a psychotherapist, and I then began to see a lot of women. I suppose I was naturally drawn to the area then around maternal mental health after becoming a mum. And I could see a lot of women coming, and the idea out there, I suppose, in society is that it's a transition we easily make that it's a seamless one, that we just transition into a mother, and that isn't the case. So the message really is to dispel this myth that we easily transition into mothers, that it's not without its challenges, it's not without its struggles, and it's about let's start talking about those things. Let's start breaking down this sense of isolation that women are feeling. So that's really what our message is about, and it's about creating awareness around your maternal mental health matters. And often I think when we become mums, we tend to put our own needs last. Like baby comes first, self-care is kind of put at the bottom of the list, and we really want to try and change that, you can't pour from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself, take care of your family.
Is there a feeling that you become pregnant, at some stage during the pregnancy you'll go to mother care, other shops are available, you'll get everything that you need, you'll go to the maternity hospital or have a birth at home and the baby's born and you're set up and you're ready to go, but life's not that simple. There's more, there's more difficult turns and twists as it all happens.
Absolutely, and you'll read over and over again, different women will say, I bought all the books, I prepared for the labour. There's actually a huge amount of focus on giving birth, and there's a huge amount of energy put into, that process of I have to give birth. But and the other part is there's also an expectation. Sometimes we have this expectation of what it might look like when we give birth, that when we have our baby, when we get home, we might have this image, but the reality is often very different. And it's then how do we manage that when the reality is different to what we expected? So, for example, when you go into the maternity hospital, you're given a booklet around postnatal depression, or when you have your baby, your district health nurse will often leave booklets. But I suppose nobody kind of sits down and tells you that, it's quite common for women to feel a sense of loss for their own life, their old life. Or that you may experience a sense of loneliness because there's quite a big change. You may have worked full time, may have interacted with your peers daily, and then suddenly you're at home with a baby with this massive sense of responsibility. It's a huge adjustment, it's really big change. So all of that type of stuff, everyday stuff, isn't really spoken about. And it's those things that can take women, off guard. They're not prepared for that part. And it's, again, coming back to reality, the expectations versus reality.
So you're putting some focus on the things that mightn't be in those guides and booklets. It's the non-clinical, but it is about the baby blues or the just after, and it's for the life you may have had and the adjustments that you're going to make. And what is the solution? Is it to get together with other people and speak about these things?
Well, I suppose for me, and again, from seeing clients, I would have seen a lot of women as well that were pregnant, let's say, and they didn't necessarily, some women don't necessarily enjoy the experience of being pregnant. But there's a fear around saying that because, again, and I think a big part of this is around social media has a huge influence on how we feel about things as well. There's a perception out there that being pregnant, everybody loves it, it's a beautiful experience, but not everybody does, not every woman does. And in pregnancy, if a woman feels like they're not enjoying the experience, it can be quite isolating because they're fearful of being judged if they were to speak out about that. And that can then manifest into something else. So it's about let's start talking about the real experiences of being pregnant, the real experiences of being a mum, the real experiences of motherhood, the lack of sleep and how that can impact. And exactly like all the things, yes, there is obviously definitely there's a huge amount around postnatal depression, but it's a step before that is what we're trying to reach. It's a step before that we're kind of trying to offer women support, and this page is also going to be used going forward as a forum to kind of highlight any events or projects or say facilities or services that we become aware of that promote positive maternal mental health. We want to share them, and we want it to be really accessible to women, that they can see, that there is support out there if they do find that they are struggling.
I sense that you've identified a gap in the market that nobody was filling, and that you're focusing it with the Paint Your Bump Day, but then if there's research or if there's services, you're going to backfill that throughout the year and make people aware of where those services are available.
Absolutely, it's really important. There are not enough supports for pregnant women or for women who have just had children. And actually right up until, range we're looking at is from basically pregnancy up until your child is 4. Because they're quite challenging years. So it's exactly as you say, we're literally going to any information we have, and if anybody knows of other facilities, we're going to start sharing them. And we also want to be sharing stuff that's, reachable for women as well, affordable services that's reachable for women. So that's the aim. We're also going to increase, we had only done this once a year, but from this year we're going to increase it now, and we're going to have another load of events in October to link in with Mental Health Week in October. And as we say, we'll be continuing then to update and constantly list services that we feel will support women.
Let's get into tomorrow's events. They're around the country, and you've got more this year than you had last year. Where can people engage with this in a group setting?
Yeah, okay, so we have 6 events on this year. We have 3 in Dublin. The first one is kicking off in Holistic Nurture in Dublin 15, and that's actually happening on the 30th of April between 7 and 9. It's actually a really lovely event. That's going to be free bump painting. It's a really lovely service. The next one then is in Little Darlings Play Cafe in Santry, which is a fantastic service if women don't know about it. It's where I've been bringing my daughter actually for the last 2 years. And that's on the 2nd of May, and they're painting bumps in there between 10 and 1 p.m. The third one in Dublin is Dublin Body Paint Studio, which I have to say will be a real treat for anybody getting their bum painted in there, because this is what they do. That's their expertise. They're body paint artists.
Full time.
Full time, yeah. So it will be. I'm dying to see the pictures from there. Actually, I'd imagine they're going to be amazing. We have one in Urban Wellbeing in Galway, and that's on the 2nd of May. And it's 7 to 9 again, free bump painting. We've one on in Letterkenny, New Beginnings Counselling Service on the 5th of May. That's between 1 and 5. And then the last one then we have is in County Meath in Ballinacree Community Centre, and that's on the 7th of May between 12 and 3.
Can I ask a technical question?
Sure.
What kind of paint should you use if you're doing it yourself? Like, obviously is it poster paint and non kind of industrial paints and stuff?
Oh, well, we have to be really, obviously, very particular about paint. So the paint that we'll be using the brand is called Snazaroo, and it's a non-toxic sensitive paint, which is actually suitable for using on children's face and body. So it's really, really important to use a non-toxic sensitive paint.
And is this kind of generally available in art shops and things?
Yeah, you can. You can get them in different art. You can get them in Debenhams. You can get them down, and I'd imagine you'd probably be able to buy them in most of the art shops. So they're easily accessible.
Where do you see this going? Is it just going to kind of snowball and get bigger and bigger and bigger each year?
That's our plan. That's what we hope. Like, we started it last year. Both myself and Elva are 2 therapists. We started it, we're volunteering. So it's literally we were doing it last year in our spare time. This year we're the same, but it's actually grown. So our aim, I suppose, the big difference is that this is going to continue now. We're going to start to use our social media accounts as a forum, as I said, to list services that we believe will support positive maternal mental health. We're going to run another set of events in October, and we're kind of really, I suppose this is a learning as we go as well. So we're listening to women as well and what they need and what can work. And to be honest, it's fantastic, because the more people that are contacting us about events, they're amazing. They're either mums or people that work in supporting women through pregnancy or birth or beyond. So that's opening up different avenues, and from that we're growing. So there's a lot of new stuff I hope to come in the next year anyway.
If you've just stumbled across this on the radio and you want to know where to go to check out more details, where can people go?
Okay, so we're on Facebook, and it's Paint Your Bump Day on Facebook. And then our website, if you're not on Facebook, is www.paintyourbumpday.wordpress.com.
That's absolutely brilliant. The very best of luck with the day and, of course, the whole week and all the events. And maybe we'll check back in with you during Mental Health Week in October to see what other things you are doing.
Great. No, that sounds amazing. And thanks so much for taking the time to speak with me.
Thanks, Fran.
Thank you.
Fran Brookley of Paint Your Bump Day. It's going to be amazing. If you've just tuned in, you're with Mental Wealth on Dublin City FM. If you want to get in touch with the programme, email mentalwealth@dublincityfm.ie. mentalwealth@dublincityfm.ie.